One of Tesla's most popular cars is the Model 3. Its popularity notwithstanding, the car is getting upgrades with the 2022 edition. What is coming in the new version of the Model 3? In this video, we dive into all the juicy details as the 2022 Tesla Model 3 is finally here. The Model 3 marked a turning point in the history of Tesla. While the ramping up of the car production nearly sent Tesla out of business, it was the first time Tesla had an affordable model to sell. Pre-orders started tumbling in the moment Tesla opened the floodgates, as buyers anticipated finally owning an electric vehicle truly meant for the masses. The success of the Model 3 has not abated since then, as it has quickly risen to become the best-selling battery electric car ever. It topped the chart of car registration across Europe for the month of October 2021, and it was the first time an electric car topped the list. Tesla now makes the Model 3 in Fremont, California and Shanghai, China. It hopes to start production in Giga Berlin soon. As things stand, the Model 3 is the best value for money where electric vehicles are concerned, with a combination of decent range, above-average performance, a raft of driver assist tech, and price. While the world has embraced the Model 3, Tesla is prepping several updates for the 2022 version. Prices keep changing, and some of the factors are out of Tesla's hand. The base model starts from $45,000, and bear in mind that the federal incentive has not been restored yet. However, one of the most noticeable changes is the naming scheme of the Model 3 trims. Gone now is the standard Range Plus, which is now replaced by just Model 3. The new name simplifies things a lot, and we wonder why it took Tesla this long to realize. The simply named Model 3, which is the entry trim, is rear drive. The other trims are long range and performance. Let's go into the details of each trim to see what you will get as a buyer. The base Model 3 has gained a bit in range, as it can now yield 272 miles per charge according to the EPA. This is 9 miles better than the 2021 version offered, which is not bad as any improvement is welcome. But you will only get that 9 miles extra if you stick with the 18-inch Aero wheels that come from the factory. If you fancy the 19-inch Sport wheels, which you will pay $1,500 for anyway, the range will drop to 267 miles per charge. So it is up to you what you really want. While the driving range went up, sort of, the performance of the base Model 3 went in the opposite direction. Since its inception, the Model 3 has never been one of the fastest Tesla cars, but it has gotten slightly worse. This car is meant for the masses who want to move from point A to B without causing pollution. If you want quick acceleration, look to the Model S, or if you can wait, join the queue for the Roadster 2.0 and be ready with your money. The 2021 model promised acceleration from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 5.3 seconds, but the 2022 base model will take 5.8 seconds. This difference is not much anyway in real-life situations. Who cares about half of a second? But it is a regression nevertheless, so it might piss off some people. However, you will still get to work or your meeting on time in the 2022 base Model 3 because it is still plenty fast. Don't forget the base model has a single electric motor anyway. If you must zoom faster with the Model 3, then you need to expand your budget a bit and buy the long range or performance with 2 electric motors. At any rate, the bar is simply higher for a Tesla car because we have come to expect great performances from the company over time. The Model 3 with a single electric motor still beats other competitors with dual motors in acceleration times. There is something else to cheer about with the 2022 Model 3, which is the color. Previously, everybody who didn't want to spend extra on colors got a white car, which is kind of boring as the Model 3 is a very popular model, so it is not unusual to see a lot of white Model 3s superchargers. But that is changing with the 2022 model, as Tesla includes a new color in the free range. You can now get what Tesla calls the Midnight Silver Metallic coat without paying extra thousands of dollars instead of the white color everybody has. You can thank Earl of Frunk Puppy on Twitter for this, who voiced out what many people have been thinking. He simply asked for a silver color and the CEO obliged. It must be said how reachable Musk as a CEO is. Who can be asked for a feature on Twitter and who'll respond in no time? Not many trillion-dollar CEOs are like that. Also, the turnaround time is remarkable. Tesla is offering the new color in about a month after Earl of Frunk Puppy made his request. Also, Musk did grant the other request as he posted a pic of his dock too. Something else that is coming or going out with the 2022 Model 3 is radar sensors. From next year's model, Tesla is relying entirely on cameras for all its advanced driver assist tech. Musk has always argued regular cameras, aided by Tesla's artificial intelligence, are enough for the company's autopilot feature. Some experts have predicted that Tesla will eventually realize superior options to standard cameras, but that day is not here yet. At any rate, the engineers working on the autopilot claim that the feed from their new cameras reduces the amount of noise they have to cut through, making autopilot smoother and more reliable. Another incoming feature in the 2022 Model 3 is LFP batteries. To be more accurate, this is not the first time Tesla is using LFP batteries in the Model 3, as the base Model 3 made in China has been carrying LFP batteries since production started there. But with Tesla's announcement that all base models of their cars will now use LFP batteries, the ones produced and sold in the US and everywhere else will sport the LFP battery. Apparently, China was a test, and the test went well, so every base Model 3 buyer will get LFP batteries. So what changes with the 2022 Model 3 with LFP battery? There are both pros and cons, and we will start with the pros. And the pros are more than the cons actually, so most owners of the base Model 3 with the LFP battery will be fine. Remember, China Tesla owners have been using LFP batteries with no reported issue. Right off the bat, you are treating the environment better with an LFP battery. Tesla used NCA batteries and will continue to use them in its more expensive models, at least for now. But that is the standard in the EV industry because that is the battery you will find in all the top models from other manufacturers. They have high energy densities, but nickel is a very toxic material, making mining and processing very dangerous to the humans employed to do the job. Nickel also comes from a politically unstable country, and civil unrest is common, so avoiding NCA batteries is helping the environment. LFP batteries are cheaper to produce, but that might be a moot point as Tesla might just decide to absorb the extra change and not pass it on to you. But of course, more personally to you, LFP has some advantages. For example, LFP batteries are more robust and generally can take more abuse. If you have an NCA battery, it is advisable to take precautions like not charging to 100% unless you absolutely need it, or not letting your battery level drop to zero. But with the LFP battery, there are no such restrictions. You can charge your 2022 base Model 3 to 100% daily with no harm done. None of all that babying stuff. LFP batteries do not degrade as fast as NCAs do, which means down the line your base Model 3 will retain more battery capacity than the other trims. This might lead to an interesting point where a base Model 3 ends up having more range than a long-range Model 3 after years of ownership. More importantly, LFP batteries do not catch fire as often as NCAs. Of course, EV battery fires are rare, whether NCA battery or not, but the news spreads faster than the fire itself when they happen. But LFP batteries are even less likely to catch fire due to their chemical composition. So if you have never heard of a Model 3 catching fire, you might never hear of such news. Also, regenerative braking works better on LFP batteries than NCAs, so all your braking will be worth it in a base Model 3 because you will top up the battery more than in higher trims. The con is straightforward. When you compare by weight, you have less energy storage capacity in the LFP battery than the NCA, but this is easily taken care of by stuffing more LFP batteries in the base model. At any rate, the base model is expected to have less range than the other trims, so that point is moot as well. However, one area where the cons of LFP batteries show is driving range during the cold. These batteries seem to handle low temperatures worse as they suffer more range reduction. Of course, this will not render the base Model 3 useless and is not even an issue if you don't live in colder regions. Let us know what you think of the 2022 Model 3 in the comments section below.